You have a new type hearing aid that you think that I will like. What is it?
I do. It's the world's first extended wear hearing aid, hearing instrument. This is the first hearing aid that you can put in and leave it for up to roughly 2 months at a time. But it fits very, very deep in your ear canal. So as an example, it goes way down in, and we measure, it's placed in a precise position that will be safe so that it doesn't go into your eardrum. And yet the closer the better to the eardrum, because it makes sound more natural and more clear and more high fidelity.
So looking down in it, I'm looking in the ear and I cannot see it.
It's 100%.
That's what we was talking about. That's
100% invisible.
Well, as hearing aid technology has improved, over that period of 20 years, I would upgrade the hearing aids as I went along. So the ones I'm wearing now go way in the ear, right up against the eardrum. They are invisible. I leave them in all the time. The battery life is about 3 months. I can sleep in them. Of course, I can turn them off at night too with a little device I just hold up next to my ear, and I can shower in them, and I can even go stand-up paddleboarding in them. So they are extremely versatile, and I think the sound is much, much better than the earlier technologies that I was wearing.
So given all the problems that we saw our mom struggling through and how numerous areas improved with the simple addition of hearing aids, I'm definitely a believer now that all those are tied to the one very big sense of hearing.
In the booth, we do just present some beeps, and at the different pitches and frequencies, you respond by pushing a button. We test a couple of different ways. We test going through from the beginning, and then we call that air conduction, and then we also test by vibrating the skull, which bypasses that whole middle ear that we talked about earlier and goes right to the inner ear to see if there's a difference. Because if you hear better when we go right to your nerve than if we go through the whole system, then that means something's blocking the sound in the middle ear from getting through the nerve, and it's something that we can usually do something about medically. Then we also do some speech testing. We want to make sure that you understand speech, because that tells us that the sound is getting through. We do it loud enough to overcome the hearing loss, and if you do well, it tells us the sound is getting through the middle ear and all the way in the inner ear and all the way up through to the brainstem and then the brain. And then that's how we know that you don't have something creating a problem, like a tumor on the acoustic nerve that gives you no clarity because it's pressing and the clarity can't get through. So we want to rule out things like that. So we do test the whole system from start to the end.